So, hey, it's going to be a gorgeous day in the neighborhood. 75 degrees, sunny, slight breeze maybe. We have coffee. And so we're doing good. We're obviously just kind of rambling here, letting people
log on. Here. Somebody's here.
Oh, Vicky
Hey,
is.
Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
Good morning.
And so we're just You know, I have to tell you about a young lady that came to us.
Brandy.
Oh my gosh, probably 20 years ago. It was in our old building, and
I never know
we
what
had,
I was going to say.
Yeah, I know. And we started the service, and right in the middle of the service, she was brand new, stood up.
Oh,
she knows where this is going now. Yeah, and she says, "I am a practicing witch. And I've been thrown out of more churches than I can count. And I think the Bible is a made-up book to control women." And it was obviously a dare of some sort. So she looked at us. We looked at her, kind of laughed and said...
All of us, she laughed.
She laughed. We all laughed. We said, well, welcome.
Welcome. Have a seat.
And off we went. She was actually being very truthful. She was all of those things. It took us a few years, but we actually baptized her a number of years later.
That wasn't our intent. Our intent wasn't to change her at all. Our intent was to accept her as she was.
Mm-hmm.
And in that journey, she made some discoveries that blessed her life deeply.
Yep.
So we were able to facilitate that.
She moved back to Portland or over to Portland years ago.
Yeah, she lost track of her.
She keeps in touch every once in a while. Yeah. We love to hear from her. But we have lots of fun stories like that.
Who else is here? Dan,
most people, I've told that story before to conservative Christians, because they're always kind of a little curious about what we do. And I say, and I tell this story, and I says, what would you have done with someone like that? And to a person, I said, I think we would have gotten
them out
as fast as possible. And I said, yeah. And we just
because we don't care what you believe. We care that you believe.
Yeah. Because
faith is so powerful in guiding us through difficult times and encouraging us to move forward. It's just really imperative. So whatever your faith base, welcome.
Yeah. Welcome to Brandy and May and Dan and Andrea and Leslie and Brock and everybody else that's joining. So
welcome aboard.
Welcome.
And again, we don't care what you believe. We hope that you believe. Yep. And we're here to support that.
Yeah.
And encourage that.
Yeah. Deeply. All right. So.
Oh, here we go.
What? Are we starting?
Are we? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Why not? T-shirts and sweatshirts that you could probably get, but you may not want to wear, or maybe give it to your brother or sister or mother or dad or something. Don't worry, I can fix that.
You need that.
I need to get that.
You need that because that's kind of a you thing.
Yeah. If Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If Grandma ain't happy, run. Yeah.
Because grandmas are happy most of the time.
They
we love
really are.
Our kids, whatever they do.
Yeah. And one just has a glass of wine, and it says, "Take life one sip at a time." And Mr. Rogers did not adequately prepare me for the people in my neighborhood. So,
we have good people in our neighborhood.
We do have good people in our neighborhood.
Some barky dogs, but
barky dogs. That's okay. It's okay. All right, we do have a couple patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon. And John said, life is what happens while you're making other plans. Ain't that the truth?
My friend Deb Rodden, she frequently says, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Mm-hmm.
It is true. It is true. And George, every once in a while, George has something actually profound to say.
He frequently was profound. He was just frequently
he's profane. Yeah. So anyway,
my head.
May the forces of evil become confused on the way to your house.
That sounds like some Irish proverb or something.
It does sound like an Irish proverb. Yeah, but that's cool. I like that. That's a nice blessing.
It is.
Kind of, sort of. And the last time I did this, most of the people, or a lot of the people at our church actually knew that this was true. So anyway, all swans in England are property of the Queen. So, bet you didn't know that. Probably didn't care. Not exactly important stuff. Okay.
What if I wanted to own one?
I don't have any idea. I haven't asked.
What if one was born in my property?
It still
belongs
to the queen. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All the beautiful sentiment in the world weighs less than a single lovely action.
Say that again.
All the beautiful sentiments in the world weigh less than a single lovely action.
That's true.
It's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Nothing is more beautiful, though, however, than the loveliness of the woods before sunrise.
Ooh.
George Washington Carver.
Well, you would know. You like to camp.
I do.
He gets up. He makes coffee. Warms the tent.
Well, that's when we don't do
anymore.
tent anymore. Yeah, that's why we got an old VW camper, and yeah.
He still gets up.
I feel
makes
like
coffee.
I feel like I'm like a recovering hippie or something. I'm not sure. So, scary thought. A scary thought. Things that make you go, To the ignorant of one's to be ignorant of one's ignorance is the malady of the ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. A great deal
That's
of
a
learning can be
Janice Lynch
packed
quote.
into an empty head.
What can be packed into an empty head?
A lot of learning.
Oh, true.
So, are you listening?
No.
William Shakespeare said, "My salad days, when I was green in judgment." That's interesting. Okay. And this is to prove that going to church, you actually can learn something. Houses had thatched roofs in the 1500s, thick straw piled high with no wood underneath. It was only a place for animals to get warm. So all the cats and other small, and all the small animals, mice and bugs, lived in the roof. When it rained, it became slippery, of course, and sometimes the animals would slip and fall off the roof. Hence the saying, "It's raining cats and dogs."
Would they fall into the house?
I think they would sometimes. Yeah, I think that's kind of the deal. So, this was.
Cats I don't mind.
This was. Sorry, I licked my fingers. That drives some people nuts.
Just don't
I
touch
just
people.
do it automatically.
Just don't touch people afterwards. You're good.
The last of the church bulletins. Yay! The Low Self-Esteem Support Group will meet Thursday at 7 p.m. Please use the back door. 8th graders will be presenting Shakespeare's Hamlet in the church basement Friday at 7 p.m. The congregation is invited to attend this tragedy. Yes.
That's not a typo, I bet.
No, well, it might not be.
May not be.
Yeah. Weight Watchers will meet at 7 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church. Please use the large double door at the side entrance. Oops. I wonder sometimes if these are really true. They're funny.
I
anyway.
imagine they are.
They quite possibly are, though. The associate pastor unveiled the church's new tithing campaign slogan last Sunday. "I up my pledge, up yours."
Associate pastor got some learning to do.
Yeah, he got some learning to do. So, this actually is kind of cute. This is a little boy, and it says "the greatest batter." A little boy was overheard talking to himself as he strutted through the backyard, wearing his baseball cap and toting a ball and a bat. "I'm the greatest pitcher in the world." "I'm the greatest hitter in the world," he announced. Then he tossed the ball into the air, swung, and missed. "Strike one," he yelled. Undaunted, he picked up the ball and again, "I'm the greatest hitter in the world." He tossed the ball into the air when it came down and swung again and missed. "Strike two," he cried. The boy then paused a moment to examine the bat and the ball carefully. He spit on his hands, rubbed them together. He straightened his cap, said once more, "I'm the greatest hitter in the world." Again, he tossed the ball up into the air and swung and missed. "Strike three." "Wow," he exclaimed, "I am the greatest pitcher in the world." Of course, I gave that away right at the beginning, didn't I? Oops. And I don't really have any more other than that, so I'll just kind of end with kids' science answers, just a couple of them. What happens to your body as you, kids like 10-year-olds, maybe younger than that. What happens to your body as you age? When you get old, so do your bowels, and you get intercontinental. Oops. Okay. What happens to a boy when he reaches puberty? He says goodbye to his boyhood and looks forward to his adultery.
Ooh. Oops.
Oops. I think I'll have my coffee
Yeah.
and join you later.
Maybe that
So,
will work. Maybe
yeah.
that'll help.
Yeah. But you can see we have our Easter lilies that we had.
Those aren't lilies. Those are
aren't
something
lilies?
else. Yes.
Those are something else. Those
I
are
have the
beautiful.
lilies in a high place on the stove in the front room,
So the dog
so
won't
the
get to
cat won't.
them. And cat won't get to them. Yeah.
So
But
it's
we
not like
have
the cats.
amethyst, and I don't know what else we have up here. We have other,
Stuff.
We have other amethysts up here. It's hard to do things you're doing backwards. And
Yeah,
so,
it's
yeah,
disconcerting.
my finger doesn't work. I don't know. So, bye.
Get out. Get out. Get away. Okay. I hope you had enough of that. Good morning. Well, I have lots to share with you today, and boy, I tell you, it's really a challenge to walk a spiritual path sometimes, because sometimes the path changes and you're walking a certain way and all of a sudden it's different. Have you ever noticed that? Well, here's the thing. So, had this inspiration for today's message. And I was going to talk to you about the spiritual sacred path. Right. And so I felt really good about that. And so I thought we'd talk about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of walking our spiritual path, our sacred path, for our the ascension path, the journey towards ascension. So I got all my notes and studied and got Bible passages here and there and got it all together. And as soon as I got that done, there was no energy left on it. None. Okay, so now what do I do? What do I do? Because I felt really inspired to do that. So I sat with it and I asked God, I said, I thought this is what we were doing, because I felt really inspired, and the insight to do all of that wasn't something I came up with. It just kind of showed up. And then I heard, now make it simple. Now make it simple. I thought, oh, okay, how do I do that? Sometimes making something simple is harder than giving you the harder answer. So I had to just be with that. And that has led me down a really nice journey. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity. And I want to share with you, I want to start with a prayer, because I think
Which one is that's a prayer plan?
Oh, is it a prayer plant?
According to Marcia.
Okay, well, our prayer plant is going to help us with a prayer from the Little Prayer and Gratitudes book. I'd like to read this prayer to you, and let's center and get into that heart space of that prayerfulness. The title of this particular prayer is Clarifying and Living One's True Purpose. So take a deep breath in and just relax, just be in this moment, if you would, please. And as you're in this moment, for our prayers, often we find that if we close our hands, or we put our hands on our heart space, or just lay them in our lap, that centers us, brings us inward. And this inward journey is exactly where we want to be today, because we're changing directions. Normally, when we're running around doing life, or letting life do its thing and we kind of hang on, and that it tends to create some frantic energy. This closing inward and moving inward allows us to center and to be here in this moment, be in the now, and be present, fully present in ourselves. So just be with that for a moment. Divine One, I feel as if I came into this life to do something special. I want to do something special and meaningful. I know that there are little things that I do out of kindness. Is that it? Show me what you would have me to do. Guide me into my soul's bliss. Direct my steps into fulfillment. My heart and soul yearns for more. Just doing day-to-day things feels empty. There is more. Show me more. Make it really clear so that I may move forward and fearlessly and joyfully. May it be so. In the name of Jesus. Amen. And now as we move into a gratitude state, I'm going to read this gratitude for you. So you might want to open up and allow yourself to receive information. Our prayer was our centering, going inward and connecting with spirit. This gratitude is opening our energy up. So thank you for awakening my true purpose into my awareness. So isn't that pretty? The reason I wanted to share that with you is because listening to our heart space and following our heart is really important for walking our sacred path. Because otherwise we're walking in a journey of duty or obligation or autopilot. And there's no joy in that. Now, sometimes there's things that are imperative to do because they're imperative to do. That doesn't mean that it's not a good thing. But when our heart's not in it, it's just not fun. And if it ain't fun, we're not going to do it. I don't know about you, but if it ain't fun, I'm not doing it. Certainly, I'm very responsible and I'll take care of responsibilities. But for following my life's purpose, for walking my sacred path, it's imperative that it brings me joy. See, the problem is sometimes we get locked in our head. And when we get locked in our head, we get locked in this judgment thing or the expectations. I should do this or I should do that, or it should look like that, or it should look like this other thing, or whatever I'm doing is not good enough. There's all this judgment stuff going on. And unfortunately, when there's all that judgment going on, that sets us up for this mental feedback loop that keeps us locked down. And we're not walking a sacred path. And our sacred awareness, our expanded awareness can't expand because we're locked down in what we think it should look like or what we should be doing. Well, let's break free from that, shall we? Shall we break free from that? I'm ready to do that. When I was working on this message, some of the things that came up for me was, it was so exciting for me to find Bible verses. You know, who does that? Not many people do. I think there's a lot that do. Let me take that back. It's not average. It's not something that most people will find themselves doing. But I find great joy in that. When we find great joy in that, there's a clue to our purposefulness because our heart becomes engaged. Not our feelings necessarily, but our heart of hearts. When we feel that inspired and excited sense, then that's when we're locked in, when we're walking our sacred path. So you can understand my dismay when what I thought was my sacred path of sharing this information with you, and then all of a sudden it had no energy left. Why did that happen? Because what was right for me wasn't right for you. And what is right for me, I can't make you walk my path. It's my sacred path, not your sacred path. I'm here to give you insights so you can find your sacred path and you can walk your sacred path. And let's do that. Let's walk our sacred path because that's where the joy is. First thing there's a couple of things that, pardon me, I get a little excited. This one Bible verse. Oh no! My sticky. Oh, don't you love it? This is the Bible passage I couldn't find last week. And fortunately, I have it written down. Oh, gotta love it. Ephesians 5:8. Here we go. I really love this. This is one of my favorite passages in the Bible. So I hope you can just take this in. I want you to listen with your heart. Don't listen with your mind about whether it's your favorite passage or not. Just listen with your heart as to what it's speaking to your heart space. Because when your heart is engaged, then your mind goes, okay, how can I make that work? How can I make that happen? Your mind is this beautiful search engine that will find a way. But it starts in the heart. Listen to this, with your heart. For you were formerly of darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. You're as children of light. This is not about darkness. Certainly there's darkness in our world. And there's certainly, we can slip into dark moods and dark attitudes. Talked to someone earlier this week and they were so distressed and worried and fearful. And it broke my heart. Because they were here thinking about what it should look like and what it should be and how it isn't what it should be. And so they were so distressed. But they hadn't listened to their heart. They didn't know what their heart wanted. Here's the thing. If your heart is asking you to do something and you have an opportunity, then you have responsibility about that. You have a directive to do that. Then your mind will find a way to make it happen. If you have no opportunity, it's not your stuff. Let it go. Let it go. It's not your task. So if you're worried or stressed or concerned about something, get into your heart space. Are you motivated to take action about that? Are you? Can you? If there's no action for you to take at this time, let it go. It's not yours to do. We feel the energies that are out there. Somebody should do that. Well, you're right. Somebody should. If you have opportunity, do it. If you don't have the opportunity, pray about it, let it go. Now, there's lots of different ways to let things go. I'm going to talk about letting go more than once here today. But to start with, just letting go, the Sedona method. Let it go as best you can for now. For now. Oh, I'm really stressed up about this. Let it go as best you can for now. Because if you hang on to that stress, more is going to happen. It gets you into this feedback loop. It gets me into the feedback loop where all I can think about is what's not right. And I miss all the things that are right and are good and are beautiful and are blessings. I tell you, there are people facing some extreme challenges right now. Has nothing to do with the major overview challenges facing our world right now, but they're personal challenges and they're stepping up. It's wonderful. They're going, oh man, I gotta look at that. And they're looking at it. And I'm so proud of them. You know who you are. I'm talking to you. Yes, I see you. I know you're there and I know you're doing it. And maybe it's not a big, huge thing, but yeah, it is. It's a big, huge thing because maybe it's something you hadn't looked at in a while. Shoved it aside. But you're looking at it. And that's on your sacred path. You're doing the deal. And I'm proud of you for that. So keep up with that. Because verse 9 says, the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, trying to learn what is pleasing to the Lord. Trying to do the right thing. And if there's opportunity, you do it. If there's no opportunity, not yours to do. And you let it go. And you look at the stuff that you're capable of looking at for now, in this moment, and you're taking action. And I'm really proud of you for doing that. So that's who you really are, is this child of light. Stop acting like a child of darkness. And yet, I want you to really honor that when it comes up. When it comes up, all this fear, all this anxiety, all this worry, look at it. Worry is this doorway experience by which you can change. If you're worried, it's time to change. But see, worry keeps us stuck in worry rather than moving through to change. But it is this wake up, nudge, horrible, terrible thing that tells us, I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. I'm not living in my heart space. Look at that. Honor that, because that's part of this journey of sacredness. So step through that. Move into the next phase of that. Look at it and go, I'm not happy. And then listen what your heart has to say. It's kind of like all these Bible passages. And my heart said, no, we're not doing that. Wanted to, but we're not. Because there was a better truth, a more sacred truth. And the sacred truth is it gets to be simple. It gets to be simple. And that brings us to the idea of how do we take that next step? What's that next step look like? Well, let me share a thought with you about that. This one. Psalms 37:4. This is another really favorite one of mine. They're all your favorite, Janice? Well, no. But I have a lot of favorites. But listen to this one. Get this one. The first time I read this, I went, holy heck. It's a key. It's a key. It's a doorway. Key for your doorway. Psalms 37:4. Ready for this? Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Not give you what you want. I may want this or I may want that, but my heart desires something different. This heart's desire is deeper. It's more profound. It's richer. It's more motivating. If you want it, it's your head saying this is how it should be. In manifesting, one of the first things we learn is when you say, I want this or I want that, that leaves you in the state of wanting. And it's always out there, always in the future. And it's not here right now. But when we're moving into this manifesting aspect of spirituality, then we're taking the next step and things open up. Things happen in our behalf. You've experienced it, I know you have, where I really would enjoy blah, blah, blah in my life. And the next thing you know, it happens. Have you ever experienced that? You know how you have. The thing is, we don't talk about it. We don't think about it. We're busy thinking about what it should be, and we stop getting in the heart space. But the heart space is the power. This is the powerhouse. The brain is going to tell you how to make it happen. Brain will find a way. It's a search engine. It'll go, here it is, there it is. And at the same time your brain is doing the search engine, then spirit is blessing you and gifting you with opportunity. And if there's opportunity, you can move forward. If there's not an opportunity, let it go. It's not here, it's not now, it's not yet your task to do. So that brings us to a whole nother thing. Because there's two kinds of people with this. One is like, okay, now I got it. I can just, this is in my heart and this is what I'm going to go for it. Great. And then there's a whole other side of that where people are like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. Nothing really excites me anymore. I want to talk to you about that. Because here's the thing. If nothing excites you anymore, you have a hard time getting into your heart space. It's because it's clouded, covered with sorrow, pain, fear, trauma. And it's time to look at that. It's time to look at that. Because your heart wants to lead. That's what your heart does. Let it lead. But if you've got it crushed down with old sorrow and old pain, it can't. Then the brain takes over and goes, well, we should do this, we should do that, and it's not fair, it's not right. And we make ourselves nuts. Release the pain in your heart and listen to it. Well, how do I do that, Janice? Well, there's lots of ways. You can do EFT tapping. Even though I've experienced this trauma, I love and accept myself just the way I am. Even though this terrible trauma happened, I can move through it and live a bright, clear life. You know, look up EFT tapping. Look at that. That's a possibility. Again, the Sedona method. As best you can for right now, let go. Emotion code, where you get a magnet. I have a magnet here. I use a magnet a lot. I use emotion code a lot. This is just a regular little magnet. You get several of these together and they buzz. I don't do it that way. So you just drag this over the top of your head. I hereby release the trapped emotion of. You got to figure out what the trapped emotion is. What's stuck? Look. Take a look. It's just pain. You don't have to relive the pain. Just look at it and recognize that it's there. Honor that it's there because it was a important situation in your life, but it doesn't have to lock you down. Not anymore. You're done with that. If you're listening to this, what I'm saying right now, you're done with that. If you're hearing my voice say this to you, you're done with that. You can let it go. You can move beyond it. So look at it. You don't dwell in it and anguish about it. There's no fun in that. But notice that it's there. And then free yourself from that. Well, how do you do that, Janice? There's lots of ways. There's no wrong way to free yourself. You might want to just try a few different things, see what works for you. One way is to write everything down and burn it. That's one way. Another way is to pray about it. Notice that it's there, pray about it, and ask for God to lift it off your heart. That works. Another way is to physically reach into your body, feel that anguish and that pain, and just know that you're ready to let it go. Let it go. Give it to God. It's not yours to deal with. It's not your action anymore. It happened. It was there. But that doesn't mean that you get to have to be locked down forever with that. That was then. This is now. And you're in a sacred path, an ascension path that's going to lead you beyond that. Now when that's lifted, now you can just be for a moment. Just allow yourself to be. You don't have to do anything, just be. And in this moment of being, just sit with your heart space. Just sit here and listen to what your heart has to say. What does my heart desire? And your heart's going to send you messages back in the form of all okay or not okay at first. So as I finished my studying, I got a not okay. My heart wasn't set with that. My heart wasn't good with that. Didn't feel right to my heart. So lay something on your heart. I'm wanting to change careers. Lay that on your heart. How do you feel about that? Do you feel overwhelmed because there's too much to do? Well, then back it up. What's the first step in changing careers? Learning something new, learning a new skill. Well, maybe I want to learn that skill. Pick something. Lay it on your heart space. Lay it in your heart and listen to what your heart has to say. If your heart goes, no, then don't do it. If your heart says, yeah, hey, that sounds like a lot of fun, pursue that. And maybe you're chunking it up too big. Chunk it down in little teeny tiny pieces and lay it in your heart space. If your heart's not listening to you and you are not giving you insights or giving you information, it's because you're locked down with sorrow and pain. Deal with that first. And then your heart can speak to you clearly. It's not speaking to you out of pain. It's not speaking to you out of trauma and I can't do anything. I failed at that, so I can't do anything else more. The heart doesn't work like that. The heart doesn't ever know discouragement. Brain discouragement. I can't. But your heart goes, yeah, I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. And your heart's running in the background all the time going, yeah, we want to do that. We want to do that. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. And the brain says, shut up. I'm not doing that. That's too much work. But when your heart's engaged, nothing is ever too hard. Even the hard stuff is like, it's a wonderful, exciting challenge. But if your heart's not in it, nothing's going to happen. If you delight yourself in the Lord, meaning be this child of light, move into that space of lightheartedness, more ways than one. Move into that lightheartedness, the heart of light, and then listen. Put it on your heart. Say, God, here's what I want to do. And you'll get that information from your heart space, and then God is going to open a door and put your feet solidly on sacred ground to guide you and to lead you forward. Now, I could talk a lot longer on this, and I would really like to, but I want to keep the time minimized here. So we'll touch base on this again. For now, here's this powerful technique I want to bless you with. Lay it on your heart. But first, put your heart into the light. Delight yourself in the Lord. Move into this heart of light, this lightheartedness, and allow that to ease the sorrow, ease the pain, because it's all about this loving, motivated powerhouse of energy that's available to you. If you find yourself in these lower energies of grief and apathy and anger and sorrow and all of that sort of thing, it's just telling you it's time to look at it and let it go as best you can. And you can. Doesn't mean that those traumas or those difficulties didn't happen, and it doesn't minimize the pain that you've experienced. What it does is it just stops the pain, and you can acknowledge that, recognize it, and then you can move beyond it, and you can move beyond any pain that you may have caused anyone or any pain that's been caused to you. So find a technique that works for you where you can release this sorrow, release this pain. Get in that lighthearted space, and then lay a request on your heart, and God will speak to you. God will direct you through your heart space, and then your brain will find a way. Sound good? All right. That's all of that for now. I do want to share with you a reading from the Ancient Ones. So some of you know that I channel the Ancient Ones. If you don't believe in channeling, I'm just a really smart person, and this is all from me, and I'm amazing. It's easier to believe that I can channel. But I want to read to you what the Ancient Ones have to say about this heart space knowing. And the Ancient Ones are a group of ascended beings. When I channel them, I see myself in an amphitheater, and there's just rows and rows and rows of like bleachers behind me. And it's just powerhouse full of people, beings, light beings. And one by one, they'll come down and sit with me, chat with me, and share information through me. So this is a writing that they did. So it's called The Heart Space Knowing. Reach out with your heart space to discover your next step. Didn't I just say that? How fun is this? Your mind knows the options and can weigh these for you, yet your heart space has a knowing that goes beyond fact. This heart space knowing takes into consideration one's feelings, yet it is not based upon an emotional response. Learn to trust the heart space knowing can be challenging. Learning to hear heart space knowing also challenges the spirit and the will of the being. The will wants what it wants, and it wants it now. The spirit within a person desires a greater good, expansion, awareness, connection, and peace. The spirit within easily hears the heart space knowing because it's tuned into that energy. I'm going to skip. Once you pose the question and become willing, the universe will use any means necessary to communicate with you and bring it into your heart space knowing. It is there that you will receive a ring-true feeling that brings you peace, courage, understanding, and love. May your seeking be blessed. Thank you. I forgot to set up communion. Oh, Phil set up communion. Phil is amazing. Bless you, Phil. You know, it takes a village. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, I was trying to find everything. I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? Okay, found the grape juice. We'll just put it in our hands. Probably not a great idea. What are we going to do about crackers? Oh, I could use cookies. And then I found the stuff. So
he sought with his heart, and he received the information.
And whatever.
He had no idea because I had it set aside. Out of the way.
Okay.
All right. Bread. So communion is this sacred, powerful time where we commune and receive blessing from divine source. Jesus, we talked about this last week at Easter service, that Jesus created this gateway experience so that the door to this ascension path was open to us. His innocence created that doorway. When we partake of this allows us to reclaim our innocence. So join us in prayer, would you please? Loving Spirit of light, bring us into our heart space. Help us to clear our heart space. Help us to walk in a space of love. Grant us peace, joy, compassion. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Hey, I could have used a straw.
There's no wrong way to do communion, I don't think.
No.
As long as your
Maybe
heart's
more
right.
sacrilegious, but
Well, you know our phrase.
better to be
Sacrilegious
than sanctimonious.
Good thing, right? Grape juice. You know what that tastes like. You can remember. Join me in prayer, please. Loving Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life. All of it. And help us to recognize that life is a journey and we can walk a sacred path. Bless us on this expanded awareness and this ascension path. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Kind of like good coffee. Were you going to do a guided meditation?
I am.
Oh, okay, good.
So
good.
about this time we rocked your world. We would do a pass the basket. So there's a link. Probably somebody will post a link here in a bit about if you want to make a donation.
Because we still have a building, and I mean, last Sunday, the people that don't know us got to see part of the building. So
Yeah.
that's still there, and we will get back to it. It sounds like, well, I'm hearing now maybe another month before minimum,
I don't know.
maybe before that happens. So
Hey,
hard to say.
we'll hook up no matter what. We gotcha.
We might try to do something midweek, just a real quick 5-minute something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Stay
Bye.
tuned. Who knows? You know, we don't know. We'll put it in our heart space and see if how the door opens. How's that sound to you? So I want to walk you on a guided meditation, please. So get comfortable, get relaxed. Short. Oh man, I just talked too much. No, I didn't. It was what it was. So again, take a centering breath, be in the here and now. I want to just relax. Gently close your eyes if you'd like. Be in the here and now. Bring your attention into your heart space. Just be aware of it. At the same time that you're that you're aware of this heart space, know that you're more than your heart space, that you're your physical form, you're your mind, your awareness, you're the energy field around your body, your sensing self. Just be aware of all of that. And now drop your awareness down into the bottoms of your feet. There's an energy portal at the bottoms of your feet. And if you are mindful of them, they'll just open like the eye of a camera. And as each foot portal opens, the heavy, dense energy of fear, worry, distress, trauma can just fall away. Just let it fall deeply into the earth. It's just energy, won't hurt a thing. Just be absorbed by the earth and transmuted and released again as usable energy. So just let it go. You're not harming anything by doing that. As that continues to release, notice in your heart space that it is a conscious choice on your part to let go of trauma and fear, sorrow. You can hang on to it. It's heavy. You're done with it. You're ready to let it go. You don't have to carry it anymore. It may be asking you to redefine who you are. That's okay. Then you don't have to have that answer. It will be revealed. So allow any heaviness, any sorrow, burdens on your heart, allow them just to fall away deep into the earth. And now bring your attention to the top of your head. There's an energy portal there. And as you bring your attention there, that energy portal will expand and allow you to connect in with energy portals above your head. And you can choose whichever energy portal serves you best right now. Could be the blue portal, a green one, red one, orange, iridescent, golden, whatever you're drawn to, whatever your awareness discerns in this moment is what is right for you. Trust that. And as you tap that portal with your awareness, it opens, and the living light of love from the Father of lights, who is there, there's no shadow or shifting of turning, there's only love, only light all the time. This living light of love flows down into your mind. And in your mind, there are all these little pockets of fear and worry and expectations, shame and blame. Let this light displace them. And as this light displaces those energies, let that energy fall away from you, fall through your body, out deep into the earth. Let more and more of this living light of love touch your third eye and your discernment centers. This expands your awareness. It's what our heart's desires for more expansive awareness in our surroundings and in ourselves. Not that we perceive fear or pain more, but that we can perceive our journey, our pathway more clearly. Let's touch your eyes so that your spiritual vision as well as your physical vision are blessed. Let us touch your ears and your mouth and your throat. This allows you to speak your truth with grace. It also allows you to hear somebody else's truth, and you don't even have to agree. It's their truth, and you can let them have it, and you can be free of it, just knowing that it's there, because your truth is harmonized for you. Letting more and more love and light flow down through your shoulders. We carry a ton of stress in our shoulders, don't we? Just roll those shoulders out. Let that energy flow. Where there's tension and stress and sorrow, energy doesn't move. So by releasing that, more energy can flow. Let it flow into your arms and into your hands. Let it flow into your torso now, touching every organ, every system, every tissue, every fiber, every cell, even down into the cells, so that you're transformed by this living light of love into love, fully. Let more and more love and light flow into your body, down your legs, down into your feet, and let it flow through you, anchoring it into this realm, this time and space. It feels wonderful to bring love and light into this planet. That's what we came here to do. Allow that energy to flow through you into this earth, that anyone who's seeking can find it. Feels good to be of service in the way, doesn't it? Now gently, gently close the bottoms of your feet. You're a vessel of this light. More and more love and light filling your whole body and the energy field that surrounds your body. And let's take a little walk in our imagination. Allow yourself to find your way to an old country road where it looks like it's been a while since somebody's driven on that road for a while. So maybe there's the two grooves down the pathway, but it's still passable, walkable. And notice a fence. Now this fence is like a split rail fence. So you have a post and then the three rails. Just notice that, and notice whether it's on the right side or it's on your left side. Just pay attention to that, if you would. That may have spiritual significance for you. And as you're walking along, you'll go to a place where one of the rails has pulled off the post. So there's like three rails and the top one has fallen down so it's kind of at an angle. And this gives you access to step over into the meadow. And as you're walking in the meadow, there's no pathway here really. It's just kind of open meadow, but it's very gentle space. Notice if there's any flowers blooming, it might be. Notice the daylight, the sunshine. It feels wonderful. Notice the birds are singing. It's a beautiful day. Allow yourself to be at peace with that as you continue to walk through this meadow. And notice that there are trees lining the edge of the meadow. in a distance. Some of them are pine trees and some of them are deciduous trees. And notice whether the trees are budding or they're fully leafed out or they're fall leaves, or if the leaves have fallen. Whatever season the trees that you're noticing, whatever season they are expressing, may have spiritual significance for you. So just notice, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. Just be aware and allow it to be what it is, and continue walking through the meadow. And as you're walking through the meadow, you are met by a guide or an angel, or a spirit being of some sort, or maybe even Jesus. And as you meet this person, they're delighted to see you. They're filled with love for you. They're filled with compassion for you. They're filled with delight for you. And they're so proud of you for how far you've come, for what you've accomplished in your life, for what you're doing, what you're not doing. They're here to bless you. And in that blessing, they're bringing you a gift. So there's something in their hand. So just notice if it's a box wrapped like a Christmas present or a birthday present, or if it's just the item itself. Or perhaps they're bringing you a word or a thought or a feeling. Just notice whatever they have brought for you is what is right for you right now that will help you in your spiritual journey. So receive that gift with gratitude. And you notice that you have a gift that you would like to give them as a thank you, as an acknowledgement of the spiritual support and assistance that you are now receiving, right now receiving. Maybe it's a word or a thought or a feeling, or maybe it's a symbolic object. So whatever you're receiving, allow yourself, or whatever you have in your heart to give, trust that it has spiritual significance for you, and give your gift to this spirit being now. And as you give this gift, there's this beautiful exchange of energy of giving and receiving. It's time for us to return back to the here and now. So you can invite this guide or spirit being or Jesus to walk with you if you'd like. And allow yourself to find your way back to the road, back over the little fence, back down the pathway, back into the here and now, back fully into your body, fully aware, fully awakened, refreshed, revitalized, reconnected. You might want to take a deep breath in and exhale, stretch a little bit, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, and welcome back. I guess Lila was wiggling fingers, wiggling
and stretching.
toes and stretching as I said that. So let's talk about this guided meditation a little bit.
We got Sandy Lang said yes on the midweek stuff.
Oh, so yeah, we'll work on it. So if your pathway had the split rail fence on the right side, this is letting you know that you have access to something you've never tried before. If it was on the left side, I'm sorry, left and right is reverse in the picture. So figure out left and right on your own, because I get confused. On your left, which would be my right. So on your left, this signifies something that you've done in the past that's back for you to take a look at again, some successful thing or some action or actionable process is here for you to take a look at again. As you stepped over into the meadow, noticing the trees, if the trees were spring, then it's time to try something new. Again, if it was on your right, if the fence was on your right and the trees are budded, try something new in a new way. If the spring trees were on your left, if they were on your left, this is look at something that you've done in the past, but look at it in a new way. Take a new look at something you've done before. If the tree is leafed out, keep on doing what you're doing. If the tree is in the fall, autumn, there's things that you could let go now. It's time to release and time to let go. And if it's on the right hand side, if it's on your right hand side and you're letting go, it's things that it's time to take a new look and let go of what you think it should look like, your expectations. If it's on the left hand side, it's letting go of the past, letting go of what you experienced that you didn't like, or what you thought you should have done, or all of that. Shame, blame, regret, sorrow, all of that, letting go of that. If the trees are in winter, it's asking you to wait. Just wait. It's not time to take action. It's not time to process necessarily. It's time to just be. Learn to be. I think that's one of the hardest things we get to do as spiritual beings, is learn to be. So allow yourself to just be. So allow the past to be what it was on your left. Allow you to be where you are if it's on the right. And just notice that has spiritual significance for you. Now, the gift that was given, whoever showed up for you is who showed up for you. The gift that was given, this has to do with what is important for you right now. So who has something they would like me to interpret for you? What did you get? What did you receive? What did your spirit being bring to you? Give that a second to process in. If you were given a word or thought or a feeling, notice that is your anchor point. Okay, so if the word you were given was time, then be time conscious. If the word you were given was water, then it might be time to drink more water. Make sense? Or get around water, be around water. Got one here?
Shannon said the entrance to the road had a fence on both sides.
A fence on both sides. Well, you're just doing it all, aren't you, girl? Clearing the past and moving forward. So both are happening right now for you. Take a look.
Dan had a patterned blanket.
A patterned blanket. Okay, so depending on the pattern, could have additional significance for you. But the fact that it was a patterned blanket, this is for your comfort. It's time to take comfort in who you are and what you're doing. Now, which side did you cross which side was your fence on, Dan? Was it on the right or on the left?
No, Dan had the patterned blanket.
I know, but how did you get to your patterned blanket, Dan? If you could answer that. We'll give him a second to get back.
Okay. You want to do two of the other? I got 3 or 4 others.
Okay, let's go ahead, and then Dan, get back to me as soon as you can. Because that will.
Dan said earth tones and soft.
Okay, so again, it's about comfort. So if it was on your left, if you crossed the fence on the left, that's asking you to bring your past, be comfortable with your past, wrap it in comfort. If it's about your future, it's about be comfortable with what you're becoming. Take comfort in that. Okay, anything else?
Brandy, I got a hug and gave a nail.
A nail as in hammer and nail?
Yep.
Okay, so you got a hug. Oh, how wonderful. So it's just a sacred hug. I miss hugs. I miss hugs a lot. I have to hug Bill a lot. Hug my dog. Hug my cat. So that's about being loved and receiving love, allowing yourself to know that Spirit loves you. Is that a hard concept for you? Perhaps it is. Sometimes it is. So receive that love. And allow yourself to acknowledge that. So a nail is something that attaches something to something else. Okay? So this is about building what you want. Building or taking time to build. So if you're on the left side of your experience here, if you crossed the fence on the left side, this is building on your past, building on what you know already. If you move to the right-hand side, myself confused. If you move to the right-hand side, then this is about building something new. That makes sense? So you have the tools, you have what you need to put things together in a new way. If it's on the right-hand side. Okay?
Got quite a few.
Okay.
Lori, I got a lioness to walk with, and she snuggled with me.
Oh.
And I gave her a necklace of flowers.
Oh, so snuggling with the lioness, this is honoring the power within. Noticing you have a lot of this power and take it on, and you can be gentle power. It doesn't have to be power of force. It can be very gentle, very loving. And this, the necklace of flowers, this is childlike wonder, moving into this playfulness. Allow yourself to be gentle and playful. That makes sense?
Did you
Good.
finish with Dan? He said the left side.
The left side. And I have to go back and remember what I asked him. The blanket. Okay, so this is the past. This isn't allowing yourself to get comfortable with your past. So wrap all of that past in this blanket and let the blanket have it. You don't have to carry it anymore. You don't have to be burdened with it anymore. Just allow it to be what it was. And moving beyond that. It was then, and you are beyond it now. You can really, really release it and let it go.
Okay, maybe just a couple more.
Okay.
We're running along. Brock says, I got a newspaper with non-English writing, possibly ancient symbols, and I gave a high-tech gadget. What do you mean you gave it away?
No, keep those high-tech gadgets. So the writing that was stuff you didn't understand. Okay, so this is probably spiritual language. So you may be finding yourself more tuned into spirit communication. I think that's one of the things that you've been wanting to work on anyway. So you being gifted with the ability to understand that spiritual language. And the electronic gadget that you gave away. This is it would be nice to know a little bit more about the detail about that, but let me see if I can get a generic here for you. So this high-tech stuff, what side of the, well, whatever, I'll try to give you both. It's about knowing what you know and having the tools that you need. You have everything that you need. And it can look your way. It doesn't have to look like somebody else has done. It can look new and different and amazing. So you don't have to pattern what you're doing after somebody else's stuff. You can do your own thing and do it your own unique way. Does that make sense? Okay, what else?
Rochelle, she got a tornado that compressed to a funnel, and she gave an obsidian magnet.
A tornado compressed to a funnel, and she gave an obsidian magnet. Wow. Let me see. So the tornado is energy, a lot of power. So the fact that it condensed from a tornado into this funnel is letting you funnel what you really want to know. You know, you don't have to take it all. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to be it all. Allow this funnel to channel to you what's important for you. Does that make sense? So you may even be opening channels to channel as well. The obsidian magnet, magnets will attract and repel. So things that are not right for you are gone. Things that are right for you, you're going to draw to yourself. And the fact that it was obsidian is about grounding. So it's going to be really important for you to stay grounded as you draw this new power, this new energy in. Does that make sense? Hopefully that's helpful.
We've got too many really to finish. We're at an
Okay.
hour, but we'll finish up with one more from Allie.
Okay.
A white gardenia from her grandma.
White gardenia from her grandma. So if it was in the past, this is honoring the past, allowing the past to have this sweet smelling significance for you. If it was in the future, this is allowing you to bring sweetness into the next step. So take it on. If I were having a conversation with you personally, I would ask you what attribute was the most important thing that you recognized about your grandmother, and know that that is a quality that you're being asked to bring into the future. Okay, if she was silly and fun, bring that into the future. If she was a really good cook, then bring that ability to pull ingredients together, all different things together into a finalized piece. If she was creative and decorative, allow that creativity to flourish for you, and that will bring additional sweetness into your world. So I'm sorry I don't have time to process all of them, but I will get back online and answer you online.
Nice. Really?
If you're, yeah.
That's sweet.
Sometimes it takes me all Sunday, but I'm going to do that for you. If you're watching this later, and I don't always get back to this later, you can email me, Janice@JaniceLynch.com. Email me what you received in your guided meditation, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so
Lunch.
I think so. I think we're about done. Gosh, I sure love you guys. Miss you
miss
terribly.
everybody.
Yeah.
Gee.
But we can sense that you're there. We know that you're there. And that's a blessing to us. So thank you for tuning in and sharing your life with us. We love you dearly. And we hope that you have a blessed week. And we will see you soon.
And thanks, Scott and Patience and Janice and Sandy and Sharon and everybody else that I've been seeing on there that Jan can't see. So
I can't see that far. Anyway, bless you. Love you.